Good morning. Hey.
No, but I had crabby. Oh wait, shit. Are we live?
Oh yeah. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I hit the live button.
Oh no.
So all that stuff about the yeast infection and all that stuff, nobody heard that. So you're okay on that.
We got an echo on your end, Steve.
Oh yeah, I know we got an echo. Let me fix that. 1 second. By the way, good morning, everyone. Let me see here. Okay, so there we go. First things first, we have a special guest with us. That's not Cheshire. She's always special. And she's not the guest.
Oh, like in the brain? Like
no,
in the head?
you're special in a good way. Very good way.
Oh, yes.
I fixed the echo because I brought somebody in as a special guest and I didn't shut down their NDI audio. But hey, look.
Who could it be?
I don't know. Who is this stranger? New channel. Who dis?
Holy shit, Steve. 110 days, 15 hours, 2 minutes, and 13 seconds?
Right? By the way, I have keeping track of that. And by the way, who was it that made that counter? Oh, that was you, wasn't it?
Damn.
I told you it was a good idea.
I mean, yeah, but I didn't expect it to go this long.
Well, a lot of things I didn't expect.
I mean, yeah. Is this the part where I say that's what she said?
No, I've heard about that shit.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, 2 seconds is not considered sex per se. It's more like a attempt.
There was an attempt that was made.
Attempt was made. You have to work on the follow through.
Copernicus for $2 said Red's Rhetoric is a very special guest.
He really is.
Thank you for having such low standards.
Show Red's face, or I called fake.
Low at this point. We've gotten to none. Anyways, a couple things.
This is actually just a soundboard. There isn't actually.
You wouldn't even know the difference, would you?
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah. We who the hell would know the difference?
Quick! Somebody hit the button for the rate of gravity. What's the equation?
You mean like? I think you mean like the his 2 arctangent over 2 sine cosine x over the square root of the hypotenuse. That thing.
I don't know. Is that what I meant?
Something like that.
What? Wait. What? No.
She wants to know. She wants to know the formula for
perspective.
Perspective. Yeah.
Alpha equals 2 times the arctan of g over 2r.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
And I know this one. A squared equals b squared minus 2ab cosine c. That's called the law of cosines.
Oh, dang. Us on the Canadian Atheist podcast got 11K downloads.
Oh, awesome. I happen to like the Canadian podcast. I guess we were popular for that episode?
I guess so. 11K.
Well, they had David Silverman on the other day, and I guess they talked to David Silverman about coming on to this channel, which by before he was like not going to happen, but I appreciate it. We've always got along. Dave and I have a weird thing. He doesn't really hate me. Surprised, yeah, but I think he might actually come on, so I might get David Silverman on. But I just want to go over a few things real quick. I put my pop filter back on because somebody was saying I was popping the other day. Let me know if it has eliminated that. Especially
sounds better to me.
Yeah, it probably does because that pop, that P noise that people have when you're talking to your mic, it does pick up on OBS very easily. Second things, no, Cheshire did not punch me. Somebody else hit me. I don't know. I got hit, but it's going away. I think I hit myself.
He got hit in his dreams.
Yeah, I like it rough. So what can I say? So
somebody was saying that they made omelets, that they can make omelets. First off, I have 2 questions. 1, what kind of omelets did you make? And 2, what does everybody like in their omelets? Because I make a mean breakfast. Breakfast is like my speciality.
Oh,
so
I like.
Tell me what you like in your omelets.
I like chopped ham, bacon, bell pepper, and
any
cheese.
color in particular?
Green.
Green, red.
Green. Yeah, for green. For breakfast, I prefer green. Red's used for other things. I'll make stuffed bell pepper. And I use a green, or I use any color for any. But I prefer the green bell peppers for that. But stuffed bell peppers the bomb, man.
Very nice. Reds?
Yeah, sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle, large hash browns.
No.
And
nobody likes McGriddles. Nobody likes McGriddles. Stop that. It's just
you are dead to me, Steve.
They're not even. Are they food? Are they really actually food? I don't know what the hell they are.
Listen, just because they're made of vinyl doesn't mean they're not delicious.
I'm not a big sweets person, but I don't know. They just taste too syrupy for me.
Hashtag food made of vinyl.
Vinyl food. Hey, Reg, do you recognize this formula? I know which one it is, but we'll test your limit. The square root, it's actually 1 over the, they got it wrong, I think, but it should be 1 over the square root of 1 minus v squared divided by c squared.
And are they talking about MV? Oh, yeah. So are they talking about the MV to second over R, or?
No, they're talking about the Lorentz contraction.
Oh, okay.
So time dilation formula and Lorentz contraction would be L prime equals 1 L or 1 over the square root.
Flat earthers have never gotten into anything that complicated.
Yeah, I know.
And do you guys prefer to have your hash browns like the patty hash browns that you buy from?
I don't know.
I am a dwarf.
New phone. Who dis?
That wasn't me.
Do we have a
diggy hole? Diggy hole.
I'm on a call. Leave me alone. Bye. Okay. That's done.
So you guys prefer like the hash browns that you get at the store that are pre-made that are in patties, or do you prefer like the individual ones that you get at the store? Because I actually make hash browns from potatoes from scratch at home.
I get the prepackaged and then I'll defrost them and then I'll put them in oil for about 2-3 minutes and then I like them really crisp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reds doesn't know how to cook. I don't believe it. If I don't think he does.
Can you make a
That's
bechamel?
my bet.
Well, we'll
That's my
find out.
bet right
How do you make a bechamel?
Oh, what?
Yeah, there you go. Teach them how to make a bechamel. Teach them how to make a roux first. Whatever.
Everybody, quick, go find your favorite Binging with Babish episode and tweet it at Reds.
Yes, I know Diggy Hole. The metal version, of course. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Just flood him
diggy
with
hole.
cooking shows.
Yeah, and if you wait a few more days, you can watch Kyle's bump. Somebody will.
Oh my god.
Speaking of which, update. Contrary to what he's told people, there has been no counterfiling, no response to my complaint at all filed. So whatever he told people, bullshit. Surprised literally nobody, right? But anyways,
I would absolutely love to. Okay, Chesh could do a much better cooking channel than Kyle. If Kyle actually does come out with a cooking show, somebody send it to me if you find it. Because I will literally copy whatever recipe he tries to do and do my own version of it.
Make it better. Deconstruct it.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to do it for like every episode, but I will absolutely set up to do some like really shitty. I'm going to take my phone, I'm going to turn it the wrong way so it's in portrait view.
While singing Diggity Hole.
Absolutely. Doing an Irish jig.
All right, so let's dive into the topics here. I mean, this might be a long episode. They always are long. By the way, do you realize, Chess, that this was like the 3rd or 4th time we actually started exactly on time?
We're getting.
Yeah, don't expect that always, people. But we have a consecutive running 3 or 4 shows that we've actually started on time. Not always going to happen, but I think that's pretty impressive.
Good.
Yeah,
we're doing good.
Well, we had to wait for Reds to pretty himself up. That took like days. So, and he's not even on camera. I don't know what the point was. Just so he could look like halfway. Well, not even halfway. I guess 5%.
Yeah, I heard he was having trouble with a paper bag because if he doesn't put it on like exactly straight, if it touches his face, it starts burning through the bag.
That's a hell of a lot of ugly.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of ugly.
Yes, there is definitely a lot of ugly here.
Concentrated ugliness.
It's not illegal in 17 U.S. states for no reason.
All right, so we're going to, like we usually do, work our way backwards because that's a thing. People know I'm going on vacation this month. I am going to be going to L.A. for a while. I'm going to be taking out Sweet Heathen for a couple days, and I might be staying down there for a little longer to visit some friends. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to be off the internet for some time, especially Twitter. I made my Twitter account private for various reasons. But mostly, I've got shit to do, and Twitter just takes too much time. And it's, you know what? If people want to have dumpster fires on Twitter, I get it. I that was my dumpster fire thing too. I have other things to do this month, so all yours.
Red's getting pretty. That's the best euphemism for decapitation I've ever heard.
That's the only way it would really be the case, right?
Spoken like someone who's actually named Jigsaw. Good on you, good sir.
Want to play a game?
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, by the way, I don't recommend Twitter to anybody. If you're not on it now, don't. But
Don't go
Don't-
there. Don't
No,
do it.
it is
So
an
bad.
absolute cesspool.
It's not worth it.
This is a swamp the president can't drain.
I'm actually almost up to 1,000 followers. I don't know why. I'm just an asshole.
I don't know what to even make of Twitter any longer. All I've used it for now is just announcing stuff, like when I have a show or stuff like that. I don't give a crap about the dialogues because these people are just so damn stupid half the time. I love my followers.
Facebook is worse.
I've collected a group of people, so having it privatized is great because I have a group of people that I actually like talking to.
Oh, Steve, you just want your echo chamber.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I've only had it for a couple years, and all of a sudden I just want an echo chamber. No, I just don't want to deal with Twitter this month. I really do want to just forget about it. But this kind of dives into something that happened the other day with a Twitter message that I received and Red's received recently. And you know what, Reds? I'm going to let you take this one since you're the special guest, and you don't go on camera, so they can't look at you, so they have to hear your lovely voice instead.
Oh, for Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, so I don't know who this guy is. We were actually trying to find him, but anyway, once upon a time, I was on the Twitters, and I got a message from Steve McRae saying that he was contacted by one of the Steve McRae fake accounts. So an account that was, kind of running this joke about the whole legal issue that's going on with the Non Sequitur show. So, very funny. No one really gives a shit. But then this parody account decided to contact Steve McRae directly and say, hey, listen, I'm making a video about a bunch of shit, and I want to interview you to see if what I heard about you are true. Ooh, really? Okay, well, and I also have some shit on Reds. And I go, wait a minute, shit on Reds? About what? Oh, about X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay. So you wanted to talk to both of us? Yeah, because I'm making a video and I want to make sure that I hear your guys' side of the story. Okay, we're willing to do that, but I'm not going to talk to you on a fucking fake account. So who the hell are you? Well, if I told you who I actually was, that might cause some problems. Whatever the fuck that means. I forget the actual wording, but it was something along those lines.
Something along those lines. Close enough.
Yeah, so he was, but he not only messaged
or she or they, we don't know,
or them, or Zim, or Zim.
So this attack helicopter got in contact with us, and so yeah, they decided to make these demands. Like, listen, I want to interview you so I can hear your side of the story before I decide to make this video. I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk to you unless I know who the actual fuck you are. I'm not just going to spill the beans just because some random dude on the internet decided to ask me. No, I need to know who you are. So his or she's response, whatever the fuck. I'm just going to say his because fuck you guys.
This investigatory journalist.
Assume the gender. Assume it.
So basically,
there are no women on the internet.
So basically, this again, I don't care if it's a guy or a girl. I'm calling him dude. All right. So this dude decides to say, well, listen, we have some stuff and I'm going to make a video and I want to make sure that you at least have your chance to speak the truth as you see it. I'm like, hey, that offer is open. I'll speak the truth, but I need to know who I'm talking to. Their response to this was, well, the truth doesn't change depending on who you're speaking to. I go, true, but honesty does. There's a few people who are dishonest no matter the information you give me, or regardless the information you give them. There's people that will take the truth and twist it to form a narrative that does not in any way reflect reality. And so it is wise to be cautious when dealing with individuals you do not know on the internet. There should be rule number one. Am I actually having to explain don't talk to strangers on the internet?
Yeah, you're at our age. Mom was right. Damn it. God.
Mom was right. So yeah, basically there is a guy going around who's asking for interviews. If you see this guy trolling around on the interwebs on Twitter, this is what I would recommend doing. Of course, you guys are your own people. You can do your own shit, but personally, I would refuse to do anything with this guy any interviews with this guy unless you figure out who the hell he is.
Clearly, it's because Reds hates fun. The
Yeah.
actual answer of what you should do, if you so desire, is think of the most ridiculous story you could possibly tell about whoever they're asking about and tell them that.
Make shit
you know
up.
what?
I don't care. Everybody else does.
You know what? I just fell off my desk here. I hit my head. I just forgot everything I just said, so let me repeat. What you should do is tell them the most insane story imaginable. Go to fucking town on this shit.
Wow, what an amusing and funny idea, Reds. I'm so glad you thought of it.
Red's is smart. Yeah, Red's a smart guy. He comes up with all these creative ideas on his own because he does 95% of shit.
I try.
You know what?
And
I asked him to make a decision one time. He now owns this fucking channel.
by the way, can I just make one thing explicitly clear? While I don't know who this guy is, I have a pretty good idea of what their motives are, and that's because of what they said to Steve. So, Steve, with your permission, can I reveal something about the?
Yeah, but let me say one thing first.
I'm gonna do this super chat.
Let me just say one thing first, and then get to the super chat. So this person said to me that truth shouldn't matter to whom you're talking to or relating the truth to, basically. This is true. Truth doesn't matter. However, I know from experience, everybody who's ever been on the internet knows from experience, people can take truth and change it contextually to fit their own narrative. So be wary. But yeah, if you read the super chat, then Reds.
Vans Fly Height for $2 said, Twitter is worse than Facebook. Change my mind. And then we also got a message that says, Reds is as smart as he is beautiful.
So he's one dumb motherfucker. I got it. I understand. All right.
Jesus Christ.
I thought you used to be smart, Reds.
Get
What happened?
roasted.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, here's the thing that really put the nail in the coffin, at least for me personally, about this guy. Is because he mentioned a certain group of people who clearly have a problem with me, clearly have a problem with Steve, and have been the center of this whole rape apologetics bullshit story that's been going on against Steve McRae, myself, Cheshire, and a few other people that have decided to call them out on their fucking nonsense in regards to the rape apologist issue.
Chesh.
They
wait, Chesh, are you like angry typing?
Yeah, that's angry typing right there.
Yeah, that's angry typing.
So this dude has said that he was pressured or motivated or instructed, something like that, by this group of people. One, to make the account in the first place, and two, to do this so-called investigation. So right then and there, it's clear to me that there must be an agenda behind this. And if so, go right the fuck ahead and do whatever you gotta do. I'm not going to answer any questions until you reveal who you are. And then after you do, I will then decide whether or not you're worth my time.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And by the way, this person, I mean, already said some dishonest things, and I called them out because they were just like, "Well, I'm going to use this as a quote kind of thing," and I'm like, "That's not what was quoted," because they said, "Well, if you don't want us to give me a comment, then I'll just say that refuse to comment." I'm like, "That's not what Reds and I have said."
You're already not telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So I look for these kind of red flags, right? When somebody is willing to be that dishonest.
Steve, we got a buffer. We got a boofer.
It's not on my end.
It's on my end and in the chat.
I see it. All right.
Yep, it's buffering.
One sec. I don't know why it'd be buffering. It's got to be a YouTube thing. All right, there it goes. It's gone.
Ex-Hindu atheist for $2. I love Cheshire. I love you too.
Oh, that's sweet.
As you're saying.
Oh, yeah, we had a little buffer there, a little internet hiccup. Not on my end. It's YouTube, but. I was saying that this person had said something along the lines of, well, I'm just going to say that you guys refused to comment. I'm like, that's not what we said. We didn't say we'd refuse to comment. I'd be happy to comment if I know who I'm talking to. Red said he would talk to you if he knows who you are. I mean, that's not refusing to comment. And here's the thing. My side's already out there. What else to be said? And I told this person, look, if you put this on your channel and you want to, go nuts. It's your embarrassment. I already know that a couple stories that he's going to run is going to embarrass his whoever this person is. Trust me on this. I don't have fuck all to do. I don't need to. We're gonna be talking about the rape apologist stuff in a few minutes here. But I'm out of it. I don't even care anymore. To me, I've watched it. These people have exposed themselves as being the duplicitous, dishonest people that just want to come after me. Fine. Every time they do, they fail. Have at it. I got other things to do with my life.
It's so basically, yeah, I just want to make that clear. I did not refuse to answer any questions. If a person comes to me honestly, then I will honestly answer their questions. But this person's not coming to me honestly because they're hiding whoever the fuck they are. And once again, this goes back to I'm not going to talk to strangers on the internet. So dude,
Do you take candy from strangers?
Talk to strangers.
Dude,
Talk to
fuck you,
strangers.
free candy.
Do all the thinking with your little head, just like
So,
mama
listen. All I'm saying is when there's free candy involved, I might be tempted. But what I'm saying in this case is this. If this dude wants to interview me for whatever fucking video that he's making, fine. But you have to use your actual account, tell me who you actually are, and then I'll decide whether or not you're actually worth my fucking time.
Or,
But
you know,
if you
you
want-
could have these kind of conversations publicly if you want to ask a question. Because,
Yeah,
I mean, how many times have we called this particular group of people out to come and have a conversation?
I think we're up
Yeah.
to 8 or 9 bitch maids.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're at over 10 at this
Which-
point.
By the way, I think might be a new show that we're going to be working on called #BitchMade. How do you like that? I think that'd be actually good for Reds and I. Reds, you want to do something called #BitchMade? Because I think that might be fun.
yippee.
Or at least have a #BitchMade segment. 'Cause-
Yeah. And Intrigued Feline says, at Rhetoric, you were talking to me early. You don't know who I am either. Correct. I don't know who you are, but I know that you're at least honest.
Yeah,
This guy I don't have any history with, and so I can't make that judgment call. He needs to actually show me. Now, the fact that he made a fake account on the direction of TST, big red flag.
yeah. I mean,
Well, this
again,
person has also contacted me. Now, they contacted me publicly, asking if they could ask me questions about Steve. So my response was just, well, if you want to know things about Steve, you should ask Steve, but my DMs are open. I haven't heard anything yet, but I mean, I'm pretty willing to talk to strangers about other people. It's not my laundry.
yeah. Don't. This is her way of saying don't ever trust Chesh.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
trust me.
yeah.
That is, if anybody ever tells you that,
This is her
don't
channel
listen
now.
to them.
But anyways,
Don't listen to me. I'm the worst.
that's the whole thing. So on these people that are, I guess, trying to still promote this narrative, God bless you. I don't know why you guys people want to die on this hill. I have no idea. But no matter who this person is or the size of their channel, I've got bigger channels out there that are willing to put my side out at some point again, if needs be, and just obliterate people because these people are just literally like lemmings. They're just falling off a cliff one by one, even though I know that's not a true story, but the analogy's there.
Well, just 3 minutes ago, the guy replied with this. I sent him a message saying the following. He says, "That's fine. I just want to make sure you had a chance to speak for yourself and have your voice heard." My reply was, "Cool. Offer is still open once you decide to step out of the shadows." His reply: "That will happen after the video is done. If you consider the channel without my name or face attached stepping out of the shadows, maybe you will be willing to do a follow-up." I'm just going to reply with, "No, I don't consider that stepping out of the shadows."
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Well,
we have
sorry,
channels
go
to
ahead.
get our own to put our side out, right?
What do you mean? Like,
We can go on
well,
Drunken
you know,
Peasants and
you
talk
wanna-
about this
like,
at any
yeah,
time if we want to. They got a hell of an audience.
Like, how big? If this person is hiding themselves and they actually want the truth of the matter, and their channel is large enough that they think that they're going to get out to an audience, and so you guys will want to use their platform to fix anything or make any kind of comments after the fact. How big do they think their channel is?
I have no idea. It doesn't matter. I've got bigger channels, and I actually have the
Well,
truth.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, how, like, you to make that kind of a claim implies that they have a larger channel than you are. Now, I don't necessarily believe them, but like, you guys both have relatively large channels and have access to larger channels. So to say that, well, I'm going to do this thing, and if you guys don't talk to me, I'm going to release it anyway, and then you know what? Maybe you guys will come to me after the fact. Who are you?
A little
and how big
scummy
do you
there.
think
Yeah,
you
it's a
are?
little scummy, right?
It's kind of
I will.
weird.
I will say this. I'll go on record to say this. Whatever this person thinks they have is going to be wrong. I'm just going to tell you straight out. It's going to be wrong. They're not going to get their facts straight. I guarantee it. They may think so, but they're not. I'm just absolutely convinced of this, bar none. I'll put $100 for the first person who wants to bet me on it. Trust me on this.
I'm just.
They won't have
I
their
have
facts
a.
right.
I have a similar approach. I'm sorry, I don't need this dude's help to do a follow-up. I have my own channel in which I can do said follow-up. I don't understand why he thinks I need him or his help. If he wants to make a video pushing a narrative, by all means, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why you think I need your help to counter you.
I have no idea.
It doesn't make any sense, especially since, like, if we're going to move on to the rape apologist stuff, if we're ready to do that.
Yeah, we'll do a audible. We're gonna switch it up instead of doing Ken Hovind attacks Rachel Oates next. We'll go right into the rape apologetics.
Yeah, just because this kind of flows into it nicely. The thing is that Fiona made her video and it had maybe 500 views on it, give or take. I don't remember off the top of my head when I was first looking at it. Reds did his video, and it has how many views on it?
I don't know, like 5.5 thousand.
And now, only because you linked to her video, did it break 1,000 views?
Yeah, it was stuck at around 800 for a while.
And what did it accomplish? I mean, every one of those people, and there's like 8 people pushing this narrative, all from the same group. Does that not give you pause? And a group that I left and Reds left, that we wanted nothing to do with these people.
What do you mean? We left you?
Yeah. Oh, by all means, tell that story. That to me is like a psycho ex-girlfriend. But anyways, nobody was buying her bullshit. They all called her out for the fallacies. They all call her out for, hey, you know what? You are implying certain things. We know what a complex question fallacy is. You know, the fact that you have a PhD and you're trying to promote this. Oh, I didn't say this about Steve. I didn't say Steve committed fraud. I didn't say Steve, had conspiracy to commit fraud. I didn't say Steve was a rape apologist. But these are all implicatures. And everybody who watches my shit knows what an implicature is by now. They know what guilt by implication means, or a complex question fallacy. And so it's clear that they had an agenda and they're all pushing it, but they're all got their shit pushed in. What do they expect to accomplish at this point? They've spewed their load all over.
They're still getting their shit pushed in.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to damage me because I have something called the facts, the truth, and I will be happy to discuss it with anybody, like I did with this person who came to me in private until I really realized something was not right with them. I'm like, this is not how an honest person will investigate things. But I've been transparent as shit. They haven't been. None of them are transparent in anything. They have lied. They manipulated. They have been duplicitous.
Well, I mean, Fiona even directly said, well, what am I supposed to apologize to Steve for, when she was talking to Reds? And it's like, that's not what Red said. Red didn't say anything about an apology for Steve. When the apology came up, it was for misrepresenting his tweets and my situation as if we were somehow involved in this.
The key word was about demand. All right. So here's the thing. I suggested that Fiona should apologize to Steve McRae for her slander, which by the way, I will go ahead and just say she was wanting me to rephrase that word slander and just use something else. I'm not going to do that. In fact, what I'm going to do is double down. It's slander. It's fucking slander. Fiona is guilty of slander.
Well, here's the litmus test, Reds. Real quick, here's the litmus test, and we got a super chat. Real quick, Reds. If you work for a journalist company or a magazine, or let's say even Fox News, which obviously Fox News at this point does change their header, their bylines in order to kind of get people to come in, because if you read all the other news from all the other sources, they'll all say kind of the same thing. Then you look at Fox News, it is totally twisted anymore. But it'd be something like, hey, Red's Rhetoric, a portrait of child molestation or something, or portrait of a child molester. I'm not calling Red's Rhetoric of child molester. We're going to be talking about something else. But the title has an implicature relating this concept that, we're going to be talking about Red's Rhetoric as a child molester. No, we're going to be talking about Matt Bell, who actually was. By the way, Fiona's friend. Is that guilt by association? Well, they weren't. I don't know if they were friends, but they were the same hangout together. Wow, Fiona in the same hangout with a child molester. Let's run that narrative. You could make any kind of narrative up if you want to. This is what these people do. They'll latch onto anything and try to make a story out of it.
Yeah.
Aussie Globehead for $50 said this is to help you, Steve, do 10% of the graphics.
I did 5%, so now I've doubled my thing to 10%. Thank you.
Double your workload.
Yeah, I've doubled my workload. I need an assistant. Thank you. Go ahead, Rich.
Not only that, but Fiona has been kind of making the same mistake more than once. So there's 3 things I want to call out specifically about Fiona Robertson, if I may. So the first thing is that Fiona Robertson keeps making the same fucking error. I actually have my tweet where I corrected her on this on speed dial because she keeps making this fucking error. And the error is that my definition of rape apologist somehow also means that Steve McRae is a rape apologist by, again, my own definition, which is not the case. And Fiona has been informed of this. So, to make it explicitly clear, Fiona, to you that this is in fact the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin at the top of my entire Twitter profile for the next however long this episode is up, the tweet in which I correct you on this. I corrected your misunderstanding, and here's the thing. Going back on all the tweets, I think I've corrected her, no joke, about 7 times on this one issue of definitions.
Yeah, she doesn't care about being corrected. She has an agenda. Again, people have to recognize the fact that I wanted nothing to do with this woman. I just recognized what a horrible, horrible person she was and the things she was doing. And I was like, I'm just done. I do not want to be around you. I don't want to associate with you. I don't want you contacting me. I wanted nothing to do with her. And this was about almost 2 years ago, I guess. 1.5, 2 years ago. And she's the one putting forth this agenda. It's not some rando off the internet, right? So it's like clearly she's heavily biased in this.
Right now in the live chat, I went ahead and posted the link to the tweet in question where I correct Fiona on her misunderstanding of my position, as well as the definition that I use and how my definition actually doesn't mean that Steve McRae is a rape apologist. So Fiona, for like the 7th or 8th fucking time, 86 your shit. Because I have this tweet on speed dial and I've constantly been like correcting you on this. It's almost as if you muted me so that you're not actually reading my tweets. So you're not actually reading the corrections that I've been giving you. And yet you're still choosing to talk shit about what I actually said anyway.
Possible.
Now, the thing is that these people are bullies.
Yes.
Let's put a little bit of a cap on this because I think Reds, you're going to put I think the final nail in the coffin on Thursday, right? On Modern Day Debates.
There's some random dude who I've never heard of before that wants to speak on behalf of Fiona and the TST crew in general, and I'm like, great, let's do it.
Who's that?
All right, so we've got one person out of
the
10 people that have been bitch made.
Yeah, it's by some dude by name of Science First.
Oh, I know of them. They're the ones that were trying to talk about Medi-Cal stuff, if I remember correctly.
Against
which they, by the way, if I correct me if I'm wrong, they even recognized there was. By the way, they don't even know the story. I don't know how they can make a judgment on it. They don't know fuck all about what's going on with me. So I don't even know what the hell narrative that they're trying to run.
Not to be confused with the 7 people in FE Corp being bitch made. Yeah,
totally different.
There's this. What this dude said on Twitter was that he was going to try and get in contact with Fiona, Heretic, Exiled, all the people that have already had their shitty arguments debunked, and get their side of the story with screenshots and everything. I go, great. It'll be like knocking out 3 birds with 1 stone in that case.
Maybe that's the guy that contacted us.
I don't know because I mean that's just it. I really don't know. The fact of the matter is this: they're going to try and have this debate with me on Thursday at 7 on Modern Day Debates. I gladly accepted this debate because they're going to try a few things which have already been attempted by this group of people, and it didn't work out so well for them thus far. Now, there is one more thing I want to state with Fiona, and that was there was a accusation, not directly from Fiona, but I bet that she may have sparked this or gotten the ball rolling on this, that I'm slandering her about her not giving a shit about the victims. Let me make this very clear, Fiona.
That's not slander.
Yeah.
That's not even remotely slander. How's that slander?
That's
your opinion.
Hang on. I don't know if she is the one that got this ball rolling. Again, I have to be very fair about this, okay? And if Fiona didn't, that's fine. So consider this just clarification. This is merely my opinion. I base this on nothing but my opinion. I have no screenshots to say that show that she definitely doesn't give a shit about victims. But this is simply my opinion. Fiona doesn't give a shit about any victim of any sexual assault at any point in time. She simply saw this as an opportunity to use her story as a weapon against Steve McRae. If she actually gave a shit about the victim, why didn't she make that the central focus of her video? No, the central focus of her video was Steve McRae. She used her to basically as an ends to a means, and the means was to get back at Steve McRae because she has a massive hate boner. Fiona, if you gave a fuck about victims, you wouldn't be using her as a weapon against Steve McRae. You'd be doing whatever you can in your power to spread the message about this guy and the shitty things he did so that other people can avoid him. But you didn't do that, did you? You went after Steve McRae instead. Do not, under any circumstance, come to me saying that you actually give a shit about victims, because I will immediately sub that shit right up your ass.
Yeah,
Listen, if your hate boner lasts for so much time, you need to go see a doctor, rub it out, take care of it, and go home.
Yeah, it's called Agrippa syndrome.
But again, it's my opinion. Again, it's my opinion. I have no evidence that she doesn't give a shit about victims. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm on record the same thing. I'm convinced that she doesn't give a shit about the victims. But here's the thing. If she did, she would contact the victim. She would try to do an actual due diligence. But all she gives shit about is I had one person on one time on my channel. Oh my God! Stop the presses.
Or she would care about the horrible arguments that are being made by the people that are defending her. That is actually harmful towards victims. And maybe she would give a shit about the people who have been victims, who have been coming forward, sharing their stories on Twitter and saying that you are hurting me. She doesn't care that she's hurting these people, even though these people are telling her that she's hurting them.
Let me.
And she just keeps going. And that's not even. That's beside the name and show me one other thread that she is part of, where she is actually caring and talking about a victim.
This is, by the way, I didn't know she was even on Twitter. I think she actually maybe just started on Twitter just for this very thing. The only thread she's on, right?
Godless scummer for £2. Note to self: must not get on Red's bad side.
Oh, trust me on this. I've never been on. I don't think we've even had an argument ever in 6 years. But I've seen what he can do if you get on his bad side. Don't do it.
And you know what? What I'm going to do
so is Fiona now.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make their claim. Oh, Red, I'm not hurting any victims. How fucking dare you say that? At BT Toast on Twitter, my girlfriend was in a situation where she was almost raped. Luckily, she kicked the dude right in the face with heels and got away. But she told me he was attacking her. But she told me as he was attacking her, he kept saying, "Oh, you know you want it. Look at the way you are dressed, and I know that you want it." She ended up being okay, and they never caught the guy because he didn't get too far with her. So when I hear these people call you, Steve, a rape apologist, a fire burns inside me, because like you mentioned before, it takes away from the true effect of what they actually mean.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more.
Yep.
And by the way, I've seen similar things, and I've also said this. What they're doing.
Wait, one second. It takes away from the true effect of what that actually means. My apologies, I misread. But this shows this guy backing up what we've been saying this entire time.
Oh, absolutely. And I've said this before. When you use certain words, it takes away from what their uses are for people that actually have these types of issues, people that are actual rape apologists. I've dealt with rape apologists with the Catholic Church, and I use that term very specifically because when you're defending an organization that has systemic rape, even especially children rape, and you're saying, well, you know, they move the priest out of the parish, at least, you know. I'm sorry, I do put that under rape apologetics. That's just me. You can condemn me for that if you want. I don't care. But there are certain things that I've seen from people that have defended the church that I would put under rape apologetics. Not all, just some. But Rez is right, and that person was correct in what rape apologetics really does entail. It is something along the lines of, oh, well, did you see what she was wearing? You know, she kind of brought it on herself, or she was drinking too much. She's learned how to moderate her drinking. Those kind of things are more rape apologetics. People know my stance. It's just a very, very heinous crime because it lasts for an entire life. I have people that I grew up with that were raped during high school years that I still am friends with that have, told me over the years how it's affected them.
Yeah.
And so anybody who thinks I'm a rape apologist has got to be one of the dumbest people on the planet and or has a severe agenda. I think now people recognize it's probably a combination of both. But
why not both?
Yeah, why not both? But I don't even need to do anything anymore to point this out to people. Going into October here tomorrow, I'm just not going to give a shit because they've already exposed themselves. I'd rather focus on people that are actually doing cyberbullying and some other things because I've reached out to some people that have been victims of cyberbullying, people that have been dealing with Katie Poulsen, who we'll lead into here eventually, she's to me like a mean girl. And we're going to be discussing that, I think, more on this particular channel because I'm not afraid of trolls and bullies. Okay. I'm just not. Let them come at me. It doesn't really affect me. I'm bothered when they affect my friends, but my friends are, big boys and girls. They can take care of themselves, but I'll stand up for them. But I've seen what it does to people. And I want to help the people that have been trolled, have been bullied, that don't know how to deal with it properly. And I want to be a part of a coalition against bullying and against trolling. And bring it on with me. It just all it does is raise my numbers. So
remember, boys and girls, no means no.
They don't get that. They don't understand that. They really don't.
Yeah, some people who claim to be victims of assault apparently have a difficult time knowing what that word means. And by the way, they'll be like, "Oh, how could you say that? How could you say that?" Well, okay. Somebody came after me, so they mentioned that I should apologize for saying it like that. I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is double down. For a person that has told the story that they are a victim of sexual assault, I would have imagined that you would understand that no means no. And still
I'm insulted that you're actually taking that. I said that first.
It's like no means no.
Hold on a second.
No means no.
Well, I mean,
don't want to fucking talk to you.
Isn't it a form of harassment when I tell people I do not ever want to have a conversation with you ever again in my life? I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to talk to you.
But you guys take all of my jokes.
And no, we do 95% of the work. Shut up. You have one job to sit here and kind of look halfway decent. That's your job.
It's like listen,
Cheshire,
no means no. I didn't want to have this conversation. This was before everything turned into a shit show. At once upon a time, guys, I know it's very hard to imagine, but I was actually cool with Exiled. The reason why Exiled decided to get on my shit list is because and this is true, screenshots back this up, because I didn't want to have a conversation about this whole bullshit.
I can vouch for that. True story. That's absolute truth.
If you have a problem with Steve McRae, then you can take it up with Steve McRae. They got on my shit list because I would not immediately dump Steve McRae and immediately go after him and immediately see things from their point of view. No, that's not how I roll. You do not dictate to me how I think and how I act. That's not how this shit works. Now, if you have a good argument for why I should do the things that you want me to do, then that's fine. We can discuss it. But don't ever try to blackmail me with, you either do this or you're not my friend anymore. Well, then fuck off in that case, because you never were my friend in the first place.
You think people would know us better by now, right? We don't play these games. We don't fall for this shit. People.
I don't know. I only do what Steve tells me to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, you're confusing yourself with Nikki.
Oh, right. That's right. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah.
Helios575 for $50 said, words are important and have power, but only when they have specific meaning. When a word becomes a cheap insult, its meaning and power, it loses its meaning and power. I'm assuming. They said they missed a word. I'm assuming loses is the word they forgot. This is bad because words are tools, not weapons. And now because of people abusing words, we lose a valuable tool.
Yes.
I love that with one caveat. I think words can be weapons.
I got it right.
Words can be weapons when used appropriately, like when you're when you're doing like polemics and you're doing like satire and you're using scathing commentary to address something. I think words are a weapon in that case, but in a very positive way. But I think you're absolutely right, Helios. And I've said this a million times. People throw these words around on Twitter and in the internet. Rape, apologist, transphobe, bigot, racist. They're throwing him around to anybody who doesn't agree with them. And what's happening now is people are recognizing this. And people are recognizing that the people that are using these terms in order to promote a narrative or to confront an argument or as a rejoinder, they have nothing actual value to say. They just don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and let me go ahead and just back you up on that because, by the way, I do want to make it clear. I'm not suggesting that Exiled coming at me with a topic I definitely did not want to discuss is equivalent to her going through a traumatic experience with a sexual assault. I'm not making that comparison. What I'm saying is that type of experience should, I guess, make it so that she understands that no means no. But what the fuck do I know? I never went through it myself.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say real quick before they may take off. You know how we were talking about this person that was trying to do a investigation of us, even though they wouldn't tell us who they are and things of that nature, and they have a channel that they're going to do a video on, which by all means. By the way, Undoomed's in the audience too, who's now a friend of the show for all practical purposes. I happen to like his videos. A lot of people.
Oh well, you're friends.
But,
you're friends with Steve now. Now you're a rape apologist.
Yeah, I mean, he must be right. I mean, it's that's how it works, right?
It's like I got labeled. They called me a rape apologist.
They called you a gender traitor.
And they called me a traitor to my gender, a rape apologist, and that was just in the past couple of threads. And that is not like including, oh, I'm a cow, oh, I'm a tranny, oh, I'm a bimbo, I'm all of these things because I talked to Steve.
Which way are you transitioning? We still haven't figured that out.
I don't know.
All right, so I do want to make sure for full disclosure. Rob Lee, LEA, Science First with a 1 where the I should be. At Red's Rhetoric, 2 things to clarify. I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone but myself. Secondly, I have nothing to do with contacting you anonymously. I contacted you under my real name.
Who? Science First did?
Yeah, Science First. That was a tweet by Science First.
Yeah, that person is clarifying that they're not the ones who are asking you to privately for.
Okay, that's not the same person.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I
they're
believe
saying
them.
that they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm happy to give benefit of the doubt, and fortunately, when I do give benefit of the doubt to somebody, this is when other people want me to jump on the bandwagon, like they wanted Reds to jump on the fuck Steve bandwagon. This is not how we operate. Okay, this channel has been predicated on the whole principle of critical thinking, of being an independent thinker, to actually do some due diligence, to investigate things properly, to get a fact-finding mission, and learn how to do not to say, oh, I'm doing research. People don't know, well, not my audience, but a lot of people don't understand even what research even involves, right? And this is why when I see people just say, hey, you know what, here's some information, run with it. No, that's not how it works. If you do that, you end up like Katie Poulsen. She'll basically go to, we'll get to her eventually, but she'll go to like Kiwi Farms and Lowell's Cows stuff and say, oh, well, I've read this here. It must be the God honest truth. And then she'll do a story on it for them to find out it's complete bullshit. And she'll have to retract it or double down on it, which she usually does.
Speaking of who doesn't know shit about research, Kent Hovind.
Oh, there we go. Good segue to Kent Hovind. Well, how about Rez wraps this up real quick with Fiona? Because, again, I want nothing to do with these people. I have said for years I want nothing to do with these people. I'm never going to have a conversation with them.
And you're going on vacation, and you're not going to be on Twitter anyway, so you're not going to be dealing with them.
I don't care.
Either way, Reds is going to do his wrap-up on Thursday on Modern Day Debates, and...
Yeah. If they think they can come after me and they think that they can make a video about me and try to harm me, God bless them. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I do have connections to other channels that will get my story out, which is the truth if it needs be. By the way, there's a lot coming out here soon, so FYI. But
here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put one thing to bed right now. I don't care if this dude calls me.
Not on camera. You two get a room. Stop that.
For fuck's sake, Steve, shut the fuck up. So what's happening is this. I have a second debate that was scheduled with Rhetoric and Discourse because he apparently doesn't know how to count how many jokes are in a video by clicking a link that was provided multiple times. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, no, I'm not doing that debate. After my conversation with Science First, I'm done with this. I talked about rape and rape apologetics for 2 fucking weeks. I'm done with it.
Time to go back to science.
Yeah.
This is shit.
Science, philosophy.
But to make sure that I actually... Now, no offense to Science First, but I'm going to want an actual challenge. I know for a fact that Fiona is going to feed you some false bullshit if you are contacting her. So allow me to correct it right now. I'm going to say a paragraph, and then we're going to move on. Sound good? Good. Let's see. This was the update in the tweet that I said to Fiona 7 times probably, and it was this. I finally found the contradiction that Fiona thinks I made. The contradiction was made in a hangout I had after the premiere of my video, which was the calumny and obloquy video. In that hangout, I said the following. A rape apologist is a person who defends acts of rape, and that includes excuses for why it really wasn't rape. Since they claim that Steve McRae is making such excuses, that would mean that Steve McRae is a rape apologist under my own definition. Unfortunately for the people who wish to slander, that is not the case because of the second part of my definition. The second part says a rape apologist also asserts that a person does not need to give consent to sex. The question here is surrounding that one word, consent. If you try to justify why sex occurred when consent wasn't given, then we would have excuses that would make you a rape apologist. Something like the following. Well, I didn't hear a no. She took me to her room. She was dressed a certain way, and so on. Steve McRae is not doing that. Steve McRae believes, or at least suspects, that legitimate consent was given. This isn't an excuse in the way that I meant in my original hangout. This is an opinion or a suspicion that may or may not be accurate. And if that still makes Steve McRae a rape apologist, then everybody who believed and defended Brian Banks is a rape apologist. And I am 100% sure they would all tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that.
R&D decided to jump in. By the way, people are asking what R&D did. R&D decided to jump into this argument on Twitter because there's a video out there, which is currently the last video that was put out by this group of people on TST. And in their Hangout video, they had some people on that near the end of the video, it's about an hour and 6 minutes in. If you want the full context, you can just watch it about an hour, 6 minutes, and maybe 12 seconds. I usually just I just round it. And they're making rape jokes. And you'll never guess who's in the call. Fiona! And you'll never guess who's in the chat. Exiled. And you want to know what either of them say about rape jokes? Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Now, by the way, I'm not against jokes, by the way, so I'm not going to condemn them. Except for their
Let
hypocrisy.
me
That's just it.
Hypocrisy.
Nobody,
I got the context right here.
Let me finish.
I'm trying to mansplain.
Woman speaking. Shut up. Go ahead, Chesh.
I'm trying to mansplain. You won't let me mansplain.
When a woman speaks, you have to believe her and agree with her. And remember, Gary says so. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You know what, Cheshire? My apologies. Go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what R&D did is he jumped on the idea that there were jokes or more than one joke. They were like, well, I only heard one joke. Okay, so now you're getting into the definition of comedy and how when you have multiple jokes within one running joke, how many jokes does that count as? Now, keep in mind that nobody on that has been arguing from Steve's side of this, like nobody who's been arguing against Steve being a rape apologist, have called any of these people rape apologists for making these jokes. Nobody has said they shouldn't make these jokes. All they've been saying is that if you care so much about this, why did you say nothing during this hangout? However, you're going after Steve on Twitter like this.
Double standard, anyone?
It's the double standard and the hypocrisy that people are calling out of Fiona, not whether or not these people should actually or shouldn't be making these jokes.
Yeah, and by the way,
this is the actual context of everything. Fiona Robertson at Horse Tricks, September 25th, says, sadly, I think it's gone beyond that. Last night, one of his supporters said, I say we rape them, ... The rest of the quote is, at the next cross burning. And Steve liked that comment. Tanya replied with, I wonder if that comment would have more of a sting if I was a woman. To me, it seemed like a poor attempt at humor. The joke was poor in taste, mind you. My reply, don't worry about it. On their little show last Tuesday, they were telling rape jokes. The fact they are offended now just highlights a clear double standard. Basically, it's this. Either all of it is okay, or none of it is. Oh, and by the way, Heretic, you're welcome on my channel anytime, buddy. Or you can keep making more videos of out-of-context tweets.
By the way, people that have blocked are not. They don't seem to understand. No means no. You're not welcome in my live chat. You're not welcome around my channels. My mods will eliminate you. This is not censorship. This is not echo chamber. I have blocked people over years for reasons. They are not welcome around. That to me is trolling at this point because I have absolutely no desire to be around shitty people. I do not want shitty people in my life. You're fucking shitty people. You're shitty fucking people. Stop it.
Hey, Bill,
you're not going to get anywhere.
since you're popping up in the live chat, I just wanted to point out
He's
real
already
quickly.
I already blocked him too.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to point out real quick. I didn't mention your name when I said who was in that call on purpose, specifically because you guys had an agreement to not speak about each other. What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah. By the way, I have an agreement with this person that, and I'm not going to mention their name because I'm going to try to abide by the agreement of truce. That if they stop mentioning me,
they don't have an agreement with me. So.
Or, you can do what you want. You're Chesh, but if they lay
Can
out,
I do what I want.
Yes, of course. But here's the thing. Don't make the same mistake that Katie Poulsen did. I took her off my radar and I gave her, a choice. She decided to go back on her thing and now she's back on my radar. Don't make the same fucking mistake. Stay the fuck off my radar because there's a lot of shit coming down in the next couple weeks probably. You don't want to be on the shit end of that fuck stick. Trust me on this one. So I have given people an opportunity to back the fuck away from certain things and narratives. They can take that advice or they can't. But I have made an agreement with somebody. Abide by that goddamn agreement, or there will be repercussions of it. And I'm fine with that. It's not me that's getting screwed here. It's your reputations, not mine. I guarantee it.
That's the thing. It's interesting that you have the balls to come in here and chat when you've had me completely blocked because I said one thing to you and triggered the hell out of you. And it turns out with the way I thought I might have actually gone too far when I said that. However, you've doubled down and made it so that I've been right the whole time.
Yeah, here's the thing. By the way, if they want to go on Red's channel and they want to talk to you, and anybody wants to talk to you, by all means, right?
My DMs are open.
Yeah. I'm just not going to have anything to do with these people. And I made that very clear.
Cheshire, let's set this up. Bill, quick thing. Oh yeah, by the way, Steve, you have an agreement with Bill.
I do. You guys don't have shit. So but I'm going to try to abide by this agreement until he gives me reason not to, and then I'm going to rain hell down upon him.
That's fine. Is it possible I can make him my bitch? It'll only take like 2 minutes.
You're your own. Have I ever been able to tell you what to do?
You know what? Fair point. Fuck you, Steve. Okay, so Bill says on a comment, Red's Rhetoric is now saying on Twitter on their little show last Tuesday they were telling rape jokes. And the fact that they are offended now just highlights a clear double standard. I was on that show, so I guess that includes me. One person says, I think Bill Cosby is a great stand-up comedian, even though his other pastime is rape. It wasn't a joke, and no one laughed. Red's comments are complete bullshit.
One, that's not true, because none of us are offended by these jokes. At no point were any of us offended by these jokes.
Yeah.
Nobody said they shouldn't be making them.
By the way, I didn't watch any of this. This tells you how little I fucking care.
I
don't watch any of their shit.
Let me just highlight a specific portion right there, and then I'm going to read something right after that. It wasn't a joke, and no one laughed. Red's comments are complete bullshit. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 6 seconds, the first punchline. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 14 seconds. You chuckled, Bill. Must have been funny, eh? 1 hour, 6 minutes, 16 seconds. The second punchline. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 21 seconds. Admits to it being a rape joke. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 33 seconds. Somebody else calls it a rape joke, and JD doesn't object. Bill, suck my dick.
Yeah, and again, let me put this out there very clearly. You're hanging, and again, I'm not going to mention, I have a truce with them, so I'm going to abide by this, but I'm telling you very clearly, the people that are hanging out with these people, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You are hanging out with the biggest cockroaches on the fucking planet, and they will try to use you. They will try to manipulate you, and a lot of them have succeeded with certain people. You're on the wrong side of history. I guarantee it, and if you come after me, you come after Reds, you will not win. So I'm giving you heads up because certain people I thought were a friend, and it sucks that they're no longer a friend. It really is, because I was really hurt by this. But I have to pick up the pieces and move the fuck on. But if they want to go from not just, a neutral stance to an enemy, by all means. But I out of respect for the fact that I was friends with somebody, I'm recommending them back the fuck off. It's just my opinion. This is not a threat, okay? I am doing this out of respect. Trust me on this, because Reds knows, Cheshire knows, anybody who's come after us has not ended up well for them. It just hasn't, because we do our due diligence and we do have more facts than you possibly can realize. This is why I took 95% of the non-sequitur show audience, especially when I show people the actual evidence. I have, been transparent. We dot our I's and cross our T's, and Rez, when he makes a video, oh God help you.
I'm done with, like I said, after my debate with Science First, I'm going to just stop talking about this because I'm fucking sick of it. Rhetoric and discourse, I give you the victory. You win. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You don't know what a joke is.
Wait, didn't he say, though, he's going to debate you on the 12th and then backed out of it? He's like, I won't be available till the 12th. And you're like, okay, on the 12th. He's like, well, I don't need to be there for you to show why we're wrong. It's like, wait, bullshit.
Yeah, he's flip-flopped.
What the hell's that? He's like, I won't be available to the 12th.
Some kind of link on his own channel, but nobody agreed to do it on his channel, so I don't know.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
So Rhetoric and Discourse, you win. I tip my hat to you. I'm going to have my debate with Science first. After that debate is over and done with, I am putting this fucking issue to bed. It is done. I'm sick of talking about rape apologetics and rape in general. It's kind of a disgusting topic.
I agree. And that's why this is my last tweet before I made it private, because I'm going to be not dealing with Twitter for a while. But I will, again, reiterate this. If people want to continue to go after me and my friends, you're more than welcome to do so. We will address it, but we'll address it on much bigger platforms. And we will make sure that people know what kind of scummy, disreputable, dishonest people you are. Because you think you have the truth. You don't. You just don't. You're just absolutely wrong. You don't know the history with these people. We do. We have 5 years of history to deal with these people. We were around long before certain people came on the scenes. We have much, much more, I say, evidence, I guess, beyond they're just trying to run a narrative. But if you want to believe that and you want to accept them, by all means. I have never told anybody you cannot hang out with somebody. Contrary to them lying to people saying, well, Steve says if you hang out with certain people, you can't be on his show or hang out with him or he won't be friends with you. Never has happened. Find a person who's actually had that happen to. Be my guest. It never has. They lie. They manipulate. They want to run a narrative. They can't stand the fact that Reds and I have been somewhat successful. They can't stand the fact that we have moved past them, that because of very specific reasons, we think they're very, very vile and reprehensible people. What those reasons are, we can't discuss, only because of respect for certain people. But if they don't want to, if people don't want to trust us in that, that's fine. But here's the thing: we're on the same page. Chesh knows everything. We're on the same page for a reason, right? It's not just out of blind loyalty. If Reds fucks up, I'm going to call him out. Communication
is key.
Yeah, I mean, if I fuck up, Reds has come to me and said, "Hey, Steve, I think we need to talk about this," and I've listened to him. I'll agree or disagree. Okay, move on. Chesh, same thing. She says, I think we should do this, I should that. And we reach a compromise. We're like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. That's how adults communicate.
It's actually a super secret. They're both just my bitch. Second best Bob for £5 says, I'm with you guys, heart. And just to top this off, I think I want to read one tweet real quick, just to top off this, and then we're done.
All right.
From Gary Hall. I don't think what thinking is you don't know me. All this is just looking for an apology for the victim is all. I don't care if you want to tongue Stephen Cheshire's arseholes. No, nor do I want no. All I do care is what is right. Thank you, Gary.
And by the way, he's a textual critic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Katie Poulsen?
Yeah, let's dive into that real quick. Then we'll get to the Kent and then your moving stories. But I will say this: Gary's a friend, not this Gary, but another friend of mine. Not doxing him, but that's the people he knows his name. But anyways, he's in the live chat, and he actually said he's been around for 5 years, and he's seen all this happen. There are a lot of people that have seen these things happen over the last 5 years. This is why I have such a core group, because everything I've said has been backed up. Everything. One of these days, I'll have a story on this or a video, and it won't be on this channel, but hopefully on another channel. Foreshadowing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
but there's the whole thing with the Great Debate community. These people have been running this bullshit narrative for so fucking long. I think they've actually convinced themselves. But there actually is truth of the matters to be had. And so one of these days, I will have a whole Q&A and discussion on the Great Debate community, how that came about, how I became as an owner. It's all open. It's all public. People have a history of this, but their narrative, and I know Reds knows this for a fact, has been complete bullshit. You don't have to believe me, but Reds will verify it. Bullinator will verify it. Mr. McCobb will verify it. Colorado Biker Prepper will verify it. There has been dozens of people that will all testify that exactly my story is the truth, and their stories are bullshit, and they're just butthurt for the fact that, again, I have become at least people that some people have find entertaining, will listen to, education. They're not. All they want to do is sit around, talk shit, and try to smear people and try to destroy people. That's what they do. This is literally what they do. And they will get people, and they've been trying to get people, friends of mine, to help them out with that. Most of them have told them to fuck off, but not all. Some people actually believe them. But they will try to enlist people. And by the way, I'm not saying they can't do that. If they want to troll, go for it. But I can tell you right now, it's backfired every single time, without question.
Copernicus thinker for 222. Stephen Reds are Cheshire's biatches.
You blame us?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. So what's going on with Katie?
All right. So Katie. Oh, perfect time without any crystal ball showing up too. That's funny. Okay. I was going to actually play Katie's apology video this morning because I played it last night for the Rum and Coke night, or the night before last on the Rum and Coke night, and we only got to a certain portion of it, but we got to the main crux of it, right? She deleted her video, and I uploaded it to the Great Debate Community channel, and she struck it. Right?
That's true.
And that's fine. And by the way, that's one of the reasons I put it to that channel, thinking that she might strike it. It was a warning. I can still stream to that channel, so I didn't lose any privileges. But here's the thing. It told me what I needed to know, that she is not apologetic. She did it to either prevent me from suing her or to save face or whatever her reans are. I think it was to garner sympathy from her viewers because that's how she operates. But I know now.
A little bit of column B.
Yeah, but I know. See, I really do have one of these guilt complex. I don't want to like mess with somebody if they don't deserve it, or if I told them I'm not going to. She does, by the way, deserve a lot of shit. But I told her she would be off my radar if she apologized. I was going to stick by that, no matter how much I didn't want to, because of all the other duplicitous stuff that she does. But for some reason, she broke that. She took it off her channel, and she refused to apologize for accusing me of sexual harassment, which, by the way, was complete bullshit, and everybody knows this. And she's like, now, oh, it was a pre-show, and I'm like, it was a pre-show. So wait a minute, you're literally saying to people that before we went on air with Bullinator and Kyle, who is your friend, that I was sexually harassing you, and they never bothered to say anything.
Yeah, that's calling in Bull's integrity at that point, because the hell of Bull would have let that go on. Chris Foster for $5 US says, "We're with you, Steve. Looking forward to another Cali visit."
I will be in LA in a little while. I have a couple people that want to meet me in LA eventually. I had a person come down to visit me. A fan came out to visit me here, which, by the way, I don't mind at all. So I mean, I love the fact that actually people want to do meet and greets and stuff like that. Oh, damn, angry typing. By the fact,
I typed in one word.
By the way, Colorado Biker Prepper has been to my house. Right, my mod, Colorado Biker Prepper. He's actually visited me. We went out for a nice lunch. He can testify everything that I've said is completely, absolutely true.
To be fair,
so people know where I live.
Unirock made a point when he was covering a little bit of this, what was going on with Katie, and he said that she should delete this video, the apology video, because it's hurting her numbers. Because then her viewership was like, wait, what was this? What's going on? And then going and looking into it, and she was losing people because of it. Because
surprise,
then it brought to light something negative.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So she's worried about numbers.
And I think it's because she cares about the numbers and nothing else. And I think that's been demonstrated pretty straightforwardly.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, we all YouTubers, so we care about numbers, but I rather lose subs and keep my integrity. And by the way, this person who said that they came to us that was going to do a video on us and stuff like that, I told them, hey, if I lose subs because of my integrity, I'm okay with that. Okay, they're not my core audience. My core audience knows that I have a very high level of integrity all my life. I mean, I got people on my Facebook I've known since I was like 3 years old. They're not going to be able to fuck with that. I've earned that. I really do believe that. But Katie, you're right. She drew attention to a subject that people were going, what's up with this, Katie? Because she has isolated her audience. She has a couple people, like 10,000 people in the last 3 months, I guess she's gained or something like that don't know about her history. They don't know about her past. The games that she plays, that she will play the victim card all the time.
That's interesting. Without any crystal balls, not without a crystal ball. Katie posted to her Facebook on Saturday that she stopped writing for Pathos because she's more driven by money than her message.
Wow.
Well,
wow. Okay.
So I do believe that particular person is going to be making a video coming out today or in the next by the end of the week. That's basically just going to be a huge deep dive on on Katie and what she's been doing and what she's done in the past. This is going to be a huge video. So apparently they were paraphrasing.
I'm actually doing a deep dive too. I've actually contacted people that have dealt with her. This is not secretive stuff. So I've contacted a person named Leslie who has a decent sized channel comparable to my own that has the same audience as Katie. We're going to do some collaboration. So if things get out to Leslie, she'll go put it on her channel as a collab that'll address Katie's audience, because Katie has isolated her audience. I've also reached out to people dealing with the Gypsy Rose case. I've talked to Gypsy Rose stepmom. I've talked to Dawn, which was Nick's the person who helped commit the murder of Gypsy Rose's mom.
Are you suggesting
so I'm actually contacting
background work and research behind who the hell comes on the show?
Right?
And what we're talking about?
Right? I mean,
bullshit. Who is this Red's character? What are they doing here?
I've got he was still here. He's been so quiet. Reds, are you still there? Oh. He's like he don't care about this stuff. He don't care about the Katie stuff.
Do show who dis.
But we're going to be doing some deep dives on Katie, and we're going to be getting a whole bunch of people involved in this, because when I backed off Katie, I had people message me going, Steve, you know that she still needs to be stopped somehow. At least people need to know what's going on with her. I said, yeah, but I can't be the one to do that. I have bigger fish to fry. And she gave me her apologies. She told the story, which was the truth. I showed her not all the evidence, but I showed her a lot of evidence. Convinced her unequivocally, like would any rational human being, even though she's irrational. But even she, being the irrational person she was, had to agree that everything she was told was bullshit. There was just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have the video evidence. I have the written evidence. I've got it all. So,
is anybody else bothered by the fact that Steve just stretched the hell out of Reds' logo?
Did I?
It's super stretched out.
I don't know. It's not. Oh yeah. Here.
Anyway,
is that better?
It doesn't matter.
Well, it's supposed to be proportioned. Reds is very, very fastidious about his logo. By the way, we're not going to get it. Well, should we do the pixel thing? No, I wouldn't be nice to Reds today.
Oh, fuck off.
He's so you guys don't even know how ADD he can be.
So I think that's everything for Katie. Check out the deep dive coming out soon, and also the one that Without Any Crystal Balls is also doing.
Yeah, Without Crystal Balls. Put your link to your Twitter, by the way. She's a commentary, or he's a commentary account. I really don't know their gender, but put your link in there, because if you want to know Katie's history, that person has probably the best. Well, not even probably. Does have the best record of her history that people need to be aware of. Everything that they said so far, to my knowledge, has been completely truthful. She or he has. I'm just going to say she, because it's just the tonality from what they write, but I really don't know. Is that they've screen capped a lot of stuff from Katie, and she has been just wishy-washy and stuff. She'll say one thing, one group, and one thing, a completely different thing to another group. One day she's a journalist. One day she's not a journalist. One day, she's saying you should always believe a woman. The next day she's like, you should always, do your own research. You shouldn't believe a woman just because she's a woman. You cannot win with this person. She always will be all over the place, because she caters to an audience for her own views, to get subs, to get money. I think she literally has internet by proxy, which is, I think it was, what was his name? Gad that came up with that. Even though I came up with it independently, but I give him credit. He says that he did the sad report or something. His show is. What's that? All your notes?
This is my notes for Kent Hovind.
Oh shit! All right, well, let's move into that then. So let's what is time?
Mr. Present 99 for £5. Patreon here. You are one of the few guys I know who are honest. This is for your upcoming holiday. One beer on me for you.
I will do that.
Winky smiley face.
I will definitely do that. Sweet and I were planning to videotape some of our, outings and stuff. So I'm a gentleman. But we are going to have drinks, and we are going to have some drinks for people.
RedTube?
So RedTube.
I don't know what these sites are.
So RedTube.
Is this like something that Red's Rhetoric is starting?
Jesus Christ, I wish I did. If I started RedTube right now, I would not be talking to you fucks right now. I'd be in Miami with my new friends.
It's like one Canada company owns all that shit, I've heard. Yeah. But all right, so nice little bow on that. Thank you guys for that. And by the way, Colorado Bragg for Pepper, thank you for backing me on that. Like I said, he's actually been to my house. I've known him for a very long time. He was in the Great Debate community. He knows the story firsthand, and he also knows that Katie is definitely anything but a journalist. All right, Kent.
So while you're pulling this up, the only reason we're covering Kent Hovind right now is because realistically we wouldn't talk about him for any other reason. He decided he wanted to comment on Rachel Oates and Essence of Thought. So I hope you guys are ready for this bullshit. Jump to 8 minutes and 43 seconds because, of course, Kent spends nearly 10 minutes just shilling his own shit.
All right, so I got this video in queue. I've got to actually go it here. And I got to share it with you guys so you guys can hear it in the internal. So let me go to here, push this button, push that button. People don't realize this is a process. All right, I'm screen sharing with you now. Got the right screen? Yes. All right, so what timestamp?
Oh, let's go. 8 minutes and 43 seconds.
8 minutes and 43 seconds. Good enough.
They don't understand how anybody can not understand evolution. They want to
sorry.
get into your picking on my...
Here
Okay, coming to do some comments on the comments tonight. Rachel Oates, the self-proclaimed atheist, did a whole series about me picking on my book, Are You Being Brainwashed by Your Side?
Speed this man up. Nobody wants to listen to him at normal speed.
By the way, I love that self-proclaimed atheist. Like, I don't know what that... I mean, people...
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, so let me... I'll go to 1.5 speed.
Science book, which is here somewhere.
It's hanging on the wall.
Oh, hanging on the wall. Yeah, okay. And she did a whole series how that I don't understand science, and she's, she has a degree from an accredited university, and the rumor was she tried to commit suicide. What happened to me?
Okay, so first off, no, she didn't.
Yeah, bullshit.
No, she didn't. Self-harm does not mean she tried to commit suicide. So immediately wrong out the gate.
Kent wrong off the bat, to the shock of nobody.
To the shock of absolutely no one. Okay, and the only reason that I want to make sure we touched on this one, do not start rumors about people attempting to commit suicide, and especially about something so serious if you're going to want to talk about it. At least do a tertiary glance at what the hell actually happened. At least. She did not attempt suicide, you asshole. Anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty vile. I like I said, I have no respect for Kent. Zero, none. Matter of fact, in the negative. And I have not watched this yet, by the way, so this is my first time actually watching this. I left this segment up to Chesh. She actually got organized. I don't do that shit. But
yeah, timestamp so we don't have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, but
nobody wants to watch the whole thing.
So I'm watching. This is my first time watching this, and Red's probably the first time too. So chime in. But yeah, that's just wrong.
She did a YouTube about it just a couple days ago. Living with Depression, the best and worst advice. Super advisor-friendly video about suicide, self-harm, depression, bullying, etc. Roasting Rachel Oates. There's a lot of stuff on there about her, and I'm not your enemy, Rachel. I really want to help, okay? Rachel Oates attempted suicide on camera over YouTube drama.
I want to help by getting your fucking problem wrong immediately, thanks.
That never happened. She did not try to commit suicide on camera, you lying piece of shit. I saw the video from start to finish. There was no suicide attempt. No. Self-harm can include suicide, but self-harm is not actually suicide. He obviously didn't understand what the hell he was witnessing.
Oh, you think he's going to take EOT's
if he watched
side?
It. I don't think he watched the video.
Wait and find out.
It gets better, and there's more.
Keep going.
Rachel Oates, Makeup Mermaids and the Mind of Kent Hovind is one she did 4 weeks ago. They don't understand how anybody can not understand evolution. They want to get into your mind. Why can't you understand it? I completely understand it. It's dumb.
No, you don't.
That's okay. He spends a good chunk talking about how humans evolved from bacteria later on, but we're going to skip that.
No, really? I mean, why would you want to skip that? That's like classic Hovind stupidity. All right, where do you want me to go?
Because we've seen it already.
It's evolved from bacteria. That would make us bacteria, you dumbass. We're not bacteria. We didn't evolve from bacteria. You don't lose your historical classifications. That's called cladistics, you asshole. We are not bacteria. Nobody's ever claimed we came from bacteria. That's a total different domain of life. We're eukaryotes, not bacteria. Jesus Christ, man.
Keep going.
I don't know if I want to. I don't think I can take this bullshit.
It doesn't work, okay? I understand the Humpty Dumpty story. That's dumb, too. It's not true. It's a fairy tale. Evolution's a fairy tale, okay? Internet bullying and self-harm from the Raging Atheist. Did I have a debate with him?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay. Anytime.
Matt did.
Ken wants to have a debate with the Raging Atheist.
Nakasushi?
Yeah, that's what he just said. I think we should set it up for them. Chat, you can let us know. One in the chat if you think that we should, if we gain access to some other channel, maybe someday, should we try and set up a debate between the Raging Atheist and Kent Hovind?
Well, I know he was talking mad shit about Nakasushi recently, and I didn't really know the whole story. He just said that he was...
One in the chat if you want it, two in the chat if you're like, nope, so much nope.
Kent was just saying that, from what I understand, Nakasushi was just saying that Kent lied about him, so that's why I didn't investigate. I was like, well, that's like saying Water's a wedding agent. It's just something that it's a fact of life. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard Kent even say something that was true that I can recall off the top of my head. So,
all right, keep going.
Atheist, bring it on, son, anytime. Okay. Internet bullying. I'm curious how you guys believe in evolution can think this is wrong. Essence of thought must be stopped. Apparently, some guy who has a program named Essence of Thought.
That's a lot of ones, by the way. Holy shit. That's a lot of goddamn ones.
I'll send Nakasuchi a message as soon as we're done here. Did you see it? Do you see on the screen? Look, that's our show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see that now. Essence of Thought. Well, no, I mean,
he's about to talk shit about you. Are you ready?
Oh, really?
Yeah, go.
Oh, my buddy. Oh, this is going to be good. Like I said, I have not seen this yet. This is great.
Did something about Rachel, and it got her so upset that she tried to kill herself. I have no idea who Essence of Thought is or what he said. Doesn't matter. Like a different point I want to cover.
What day did she try to kill herself?
Just in the last 2 weeks, I think.
This is such bullshit. No, she did not. You duplicitous, lying piece of shit. How do you fuck up something like this of this importance? You don't fuck around with this kind of stuff. You don't make accusations like this, cavalier like this. You do not go on the internet, especially if he's got a following. He could talk shit about evolution because he's an idiot. People recognize this. But now he's actually literally slandering somebody by saying, hey, this person tried to commit suicide on camera, which never happened. And you think he's going to apologize for that? Nope.
No.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Slicing her wrist or something. But
no!
Caffeine Corner, Essence of Thought.
Keep going, Steve. We know he's wrong. Keep going.
Bullies Rachel Oates and the atheist community can go to hell. They probably will. Steve, I was on your program. You're the one who was supposed to be moderating for me and Aaron Nelson. Calls himself the sun god Aaron Ra. And you gave him...
Wait, did he just dead name? Okay.
288 interruptions on me speaking. Okay. So we'll do it in writing this time, or exchange YouTube videos, which I did. I answered all of Mr. Nelson's evidences for evolution. They're all dumb. Okay. Politics Ceti. Essence of Thought goes too far.
He did say he would come back. Did you catch that?
I heard something along those lines, but here's the thing.
Godless Scummer for £2 said, so Steve, how do you really feel about Hovind?
I'm trying to be nice here, actually. For the record, I have always had a thing with Hovind on my channel that if he comes on, he gets 50% airtime. This is why we had multiple discussions with him and debates. I hate to use the word debates because it's just not even a debate, but whatever. But, he could talk to King Crocoduck. He talked to a few other people. But when we have the discussion with Aaron, by the way, people will go after people for detonating people that have changed their name because they're trans. What's the difference between that between Aaron Ra? Aaron Ra, real name is Aaron Ra. He had it legally changed. Why use his dead name? I think that's very. I don't like that.
He's just being disrespectful and just an asshole.
Well,
just
sure.
because he's an asshole.
but it's still a dead name, and I don't know why people don't call him out for that more. But anyways, you got to have consistency on these things. You can't just be outraged, selectively. But we never made an agreement with him that he got 50% with airtime. With Aaron, it never happened. We made it very clear to him. You guys are going to have your discussion. We're going to kind of sit back. If there's any call outs or anything like that, we're going to intervene. But you guys have your own thing. You deal with it. And the only reason it was being interrupted was because he would not answer Aaron's question about the phylogeny challenge. He didn't understand any of this. This was our last ditch attempt to show Hovind for what he really was. And we thought the best way to do it was somebody like Aaron, who's a fucking sledgehammer. He's not a scalpel. I'm more of a scalpel. Reds and Aaron are more the hammers. Okay, they're not fine tuning of an argument kind of thing. They rather just go in there and just hammer. Nothing wrong with that. It takes all types. Is that your dog?
Yeah, that's Buck. I don't know where he is or what he's doing because somebody else is supposed to be watching him right now. He probably sees something.
And so. He was never promised this, and I knew it was the last time he'd probably come on the channel because he would be so upset that he got his ass handed to him, and that's exactly what happened. But I was done with I was done with Hovind at that point. I didn't want to have anything more to do with him. Where else can you go? We had 13 different discussions with him on my channel or so between the various channels, and so he's now on other channels doing the same shtick. I'm just not interested in that because it's the same shtick, right? Nothing's changed. He's not getting any views off these discussions any longer because it's the same thing. I don't watch him any longer. I don't think many other people do. He doesn't have the pull that he did before because he was eviscerated by Arn on our channel. And he's eviscerated by a lot of people, including like King Crocoduck. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens later on. I'm not against having him on again, but he's just full of crap.
I don't recommend having this dude on
Well,
your
Nakasushi,
show ever.
Well, we'll see. We'll discuss it. I'll take your opinion and tell you you're wrong. No, we'll discuss it. It's so funny. I actually have a group of people that I go to and ask their opinion on stuff, and people who are like, Steve doesn't take criticism. Steve doesn't, want people's opinions.
Steve just doesn't take criticism from you because you're a dick.
Yeah, let me explain something to you. I have people that I trust. I have people that I don't trust. Who do you think I'm going to take constructive criticism from? It's not you, people. The people that are my detractors.
What do you mean, you people?
Well, hold it. I know you only have 74 views here. Why would they think, whoever this essence of thought guy, is bullying, and why was that bad? How do you atheists decide something is good or bad? Why would you think?
Reds, you want to take this one?
No,
Please.
I don't.
Talk to us about morality, Reds.
Why are we?
He's such an idiot.
You know what? No. I'm actually going to side. How do you atheists think it's moral for us to show Kent Hovind to your audience? Do you hate them, Steve? Is that it? Did they touch you in a bad way in a past life?
Helios 575 for $5 because inmate 064522017 can't make a good logical argument, so he resorts to insulting his opponents. By the way, I watched their back and forth and Ard won.
I would be happy to explain how anybody can have a moral framework that doesn't require God. I've done it before. It's just this is all just rhetoric for him. He doesn't
matter.
Care.
This is just the prep work for what
fluff.
he's about to say.
All right.
Let him go and see what he says. Watch this.
I think it's bad to bully somebody. Here's a lion attacking a brand new newborn baby zebra.
Skip
newborn, obviously, just a few minutes ago. Is that wrong?
Skip like 2 minutes.
There's so much wrongness with him. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, skip past that. Yeah, go to there. About there.
Preservation of favored races in the struggle for life.
Keep going. That's the book. A little bit further.
Pretty clear that man brought death into the world, and death is a bad thing.
There you go.
According to evolution, death brought man into the world, and death is a good thing. They just don't get it. Survival of the fittest. This is what is taught in the textbooks. There's a whole rack of textbooks right here. You pick up any one, take a look. The strongest survive, the weakest die off.
No.
That's how species.
No.
Wait, no. Don't stop it.
Can't.
Don't stop
It's so wrong.
That's what your theory says.
He's wrong.
Now,
Let him keep
I would
going.
like to know, how do you measure right from wrong? Mankind has invented all kinds of instruments to measure things, right?
Okay, did you catch that?
Measure length.
Do you
There's
see
so
what
much
he's setting
wrong
up
there.
here? You see what he's setting up, though?
Flat Earth.
No. Jump ahead another 2 minutes.
All right. By the way, that's not survival of the fittest. That has to do with actually on the genetic level, not the strongest of the species.
I'm essentially skipping his analogies. We're just getting the crux of them and then moving on to the next thing.
Tell me where to stop.
Go there.
Tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. I've got a gauge that tells me how to behave, tells me right from wrong. Thou shalt not kill. That's what the Bible says.
You need a book for
Don't
that?
murder. So I don't murder. I haven't murdered anybody ever.
For that.
I have thought about it a couple times with a few.
That's called being a sociopath. That you need to actually check and go, I have a book for this. I kind of know it's wrong to kill because I'm not a sociopath.
Meanwhile, God just drowns quite literally everything.
Oh, you guys think this is bad now? Just
I didn't do it.
hit
So
play.
why would that be wrong for the lion to eat the zebra? I would like you atheists to answer. How do you measure right from wrong? Survival of the fittest. How do you tell? One atheist finally answered that question. I think it was in Canada, University of Guelph. I was speaking up there. I said, how do you tell right from wrong? I've had several, 2 or 3 answer this. Yeah, yeah.
That's like
This guy,
20 minutes away from me.
Graduate from the PhD program, said, that's easy. He said, I decide what's right and wrong. He said, I'm the God of my own universe. I said, I'm glad to hear about that because I'm going to shoot you in 5 minutes. He said, you can't do that. I said, sure I can. I'm the God of my own universe. I decided it's fine for me to shoot you. Didn't the lion decide it was fine for him to eat the zebra? So if some guy named Essence of Thought, whatever that is, decided he should roast Rachel and she gets upset and commits suicide over it,
Wait.
why would that be wrong? I just would like to know why you...
Why would that be wrong? Okay.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Did you?
Because I don't-
All of this
Mhm.
was setting up first, so he could make a
Right.
comparison.
The essence of thought.
That why is it wrong for essence of thought? Shouldn't, in an atheist worldview, essence of thought be in the right to bully Rachel Oates to killing herself, which she didn't do or even attempt, because it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah, that's
Not
one of the
only that,
dumbest
but
fucking
the-
arguments of all time.
But the lion is killing the zebra because I don't think a lion can hop into a Chevy Cavalier and goes through the McDonald's drive-through.
Let me.
This is what we wanted to touch on.
Yeah,
This is why we were listening to Kent right now, because this is horrific.
Oh, it's vile. He's a vile, evil, disgusting person. And I will sum this up in 30 seconds so we don't get into too much nuance of it. But basically, we are humans and we have what's called moral consideration. We are agents of moral consideration. We have things called empathy and compassion. We have an instillment because of biological concerns and sociological concerns of why certain things are harmful and they don't promote what's called eudaimonia, which is Greek for basically human flourishing. The reason we have an ethical framework to determine what's right and what's wrong is based upon our normative ethical theories. And so we have developed these normal ethical theories to allow ourselves to have a society that doesn't have detriment to it by people running around like Ken Hovind thinking he can go kill people, or EOT thinking that he can try to get Rachel to commit suicide, which by the way didn't happen. There are ethical frameworks for this. There are actual things you can appeal to in ethics, whether it be consequentialism, utilitarianism, which is a form of consequentialism, or virtue ethics. There's a lot of different things that obviously Kent has never dived into. But the reason it boils down to is we are not brute animals. We are animals cladistically and phylogeny, but we're not brute animals. We have something that they don't have, right? We have a very high intellect. We have a very high mental acuity, and we have higher executive decision-making abilities and functions. This all leads to a higher degree of empathy. So Cheshire is a human. I have an obligation as another fellow human to have moral considerations for her because of empathy. Animals don't have that kind of level. Do some of them do? Yes, but not to the degree that we have. They are not agents of moral consideration as much as we have stewardship over them. Like we shouldn't harm dogs and cats, right? Because we have stewardship over them. But in the wild, this is how it is. It's basically tooth and claw. That has nothing to do with an atheistic worldview or being atheist. That has to do with the fact that this is how biology is. That's my
The
summation.
thing is that he then proceeds to, at about the 21-minute mark, use. So not only has he misframed what happened with Rachel, she did not attempt suicide. She did not attempt suicide on camera. There was self-harm involved. He then compares that essence of thought should be allotted and allowed to and expected or applauded to do what they did to Rachel because it's survival of the fittest, and that's the atheist worldview. Then at the 21-minute mark, he proceeds to use her and he sends her a message that she has, I think, pinned on her video now, selling his place and proselytizing to her. And be like, oh, this person's in a bad spot. Here's God. A little bit later, he then decides to say that, oh, well, you're an atheist, and because of that, you're choosing to be away from God. You don't think that's causing depression? That's not how depression works, Kent, you asshole! For the rest of the time, he basically spends the most of the time mocking mental health issues and also being an idiot about bacteria and humans.
Let's wrap this up with Kent then. By the way, I have engaged with Kent numerous times. Somebody said, I want to see Steve debate Kent. Go watch my video from 2015 where I actually point some things out to him. But I moderated
thought it
many
was important,
things,
especially since Rachel did do her videos on Kent recently and has had all of Kent's people over there on flooding her videos. Show Rachel some support, because this is some bullshit garbage that he just said. Yeah,
Rachel can use the support. She is getting some help, and I've stood by her from day one. I know a lot of other people have as well. Essence of Thought has been using basically bullshit to try to go after Rachel, although it seems like he backed off a little bit. But
how bad would it be if Steve, you were a little bit more like Rachel, who is you get upset by people slandering your name, but once you get to a certain point, you don't give a shit. But it wouldn't be that far cry for you to be in Rachel's position with this bullshit about rape apologetics.
Yeah, well, I have a lot. Yeah, see, here's the thing, though. Rachel's a very empathetic person, and she's very emotional. I'm really not. But you develop a thicker skin that Rachel hasn't hasn't developed that yet, and that's not a slight against her. I don't think I want her to. I like her. I like the fact that she's sweet and she is empathetic. Some of the people in the community are like that. It takes a village. But yeah, I can understand how it can affect her. And by the way, it affects everybody. But how we deal with it is how you cope with things. How I deal with it. Yeah, and I deal with things differently. I use these things to my advantage. Straight up, people come after me and they're full of shit and they have misinformation and they want to come after me sideways. I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm going to push the shit in. Reds is the same way. By fact, I learned this from Reds, basically. Sorry, Reds. Threw him under the bus there. But I took a lot of it from Reds because I like, hey, this motherfucker, he's got it right. This is how the approach that I'm going to take. And that was like, half a decade ago. Sorry, Reds, you're my mentor. You're my senpai.
Senpai.
Notice me, senpai.
The thing is that Kent knows that Rachel's going through shit. He knows, and he's trying to use it to proselytize, and he's trying to use it to push a narrative about atheism that isn't true. And he's not just taking advantage of the fact that she's not necessarily in a good place, even though she's in a better place now, or even if she was out of this place, was in a bad place. He's also gotten it fucking wrong and
horribly
actively
wrong.
Made it worse. Exploratory Minds Project for £5. Doggy treats for Puck. Okay, I'll make sure that he gets one later today from you.
Pucky. All right, so this kind of grew off with Kent. Everybody knows he's a vile, duplicitous person.
He's an asshole. I just thought that needed to be pointed out, specifically because Rachel is currently dealing with him and people who follow him showing up on his channel and in her comment section.
So for the last part here, sorry, go ahead.
I said go show her some support.
Yes, amen. So the last part here, I'm going to turn over to Chesh, but I will just relay a little story. This is called moving up and out and all that kind of stuff. There's a reason for why we titled this. This is Chesh's story. But I just want to relate something really funny before she does, because I'm just going to mute and listen to her. As you know, people got introduced to Cheshire's sister the other day, Rachel. By the way, like I said, I've known Rachel a little while.
Not Rachel Oates, by the way.
No, different Rachel. Rachel is not Cheshire's sister, I assure you. But somebody I've known for a while that, I got a little internet crush on. It's okay, right? Whatever. But the other day she kind of, I don't know. What's the word? What's the word when you basically sandbag? Not sandbag. Ambush. Thank you. I couldn't think of the term. I'm having a brain fart. See what happens when I think about your sister? I cannot think. I don't know what the fuck it is. But you kind of ambushed me. But it was funny because we were talking about Jeeps, and her sister was like, I remember I told people I'm going to tell the story. This is it. So we were talking about Jeeps. She's like, yeah, we're going to be moving Chesh, and we have a Jeep Wrangler. And I'm like, oh, so you got a Jeep Wrangler? My roommate has one of those. My landlord does. Do you have a conversion? Is it 2 to 4 wheel conversion? And she had the best answer I've ever heard. She's like, well, it has 4 wheels. Your sister is amazing. That just melted me. The
thing is that she said that on purpose. Like, that was a joke.
I don't think it was. You know it better.
What you want. The thing is that I sent.
Either way, it was a perfect answer.
Yo, do you have time for a call? Because me and my sister were drinking.
It was
so
the best
he calls
answer
and I'm
ever.
like, hey, what's up? You want to be my sister? Hey!
Yeah, but you have more than one sister. So I was like, oh, that sister. I didn't even think about it. But it was funny because she was just like, but she was probably joking, but it was so deadpan. She was like, well,
oh, she's like, it was delivered so perfectly.
Oh my God. I wish that was recorded. She's like, well, it has 4 wheels. I was like, oh, Rachel, you're amazing. Okay. So anyways, tell your story. It's all your.
Helios for $575, $10 US. The problem with inmate 064522017 is that much like his belief for how the world works, his argument never evolves and he never brings in anything new, so there is no point in debating him again.
That's true.
That's true. All right, so what's been going on with me and why I've been in transit and why I've been in hotels for the past couple of days and why I'm currently in this room, which is new room, who dis? I'll give you guys a quick what's been going on. I've kind of kept it on the down low until things have been a little bit dealt with, and we're kind of getting to a point where they've started to be dealt with. When you guys first saw me showing up on these channels and on these shows when Non Sequitur blew up a little bit, when I was staying on the floor, I had recently moved from Ontario to Nova Scotia. Now, a little bit before that, a friend of mine wanted to go help another friend who was stuck in the States and about to be out of his house, and he was supposed to be going to school in Nova Scotia, and he basically got himself screwed and wasn't really looking for help properly. So she decided she wanted to go help him out. So she comes over to my place and is like, listen, I want to go help this person out. And I started, we worked a little bit to see what we could figure out, didn't manage to solidify anything down. So she was like, I'm taking a vehicle and I'm going to go drive to the States, go get him, drive him to Nova Scotia, and then drive back. I funded this entire trip. This trip was essentially about $1,500. They got stuck at the border, had to go to hotels. I funded the whole thing. Well, she was out there. She had a really good time and she was super happy about it and decided that, you know what, I want to go out there. And I said, okay, how do we do that? She struggles with some anxiety and some depression. So I was like, okay, how do we get you in a position where you're going to be happy? And what do we do to do that? Well, she went and got her degree. She was supposed to just be starting school this September. And she decided that she could do her schooling out there. And I was like, okay. She's like, will you come with me? You know what? Sure. If I'm working a dead-end job in Ontario or I'm working a dead-end job in Halifax, in Nova Scotia, doesn't really matter to me. So we agree. We'll split the bill 50-50 to get everything moved out there, and then we'll split rent up. When we get there, we find a place. Rent for the place is about $1,600 a month, not including utilities. And so we get out there, and it costs about $4,000 to get all of our stuff moved. We get out there. The guy she got moved, she wants to be with. I go through a bit of a breakup at that time. And so that happens. He's out of the picture for me and he's in the picture for her. So he decides and she decides that they want him to move in. And I say, okay, they bring their dog. No problem. At this point, they're waiting for their school money to come in. And I'm like, okay, well, I can cover bills for a little bit and you can pay me back when you can, either by giving me money back directly or by paying my portion of the rent once you get your money coming in. Okay, perfectly fine. They didn't make a decision about which they wanted to do, but that was fine. We can figure out what we want to do later. So I pay for first and last the moving him from the States to Nova Scotia, as well as furniture, because we didn't have any furniture out there because we kept things really small for moving across the country. Topped with the beginning of all the bills, because if you get hydro out here, you have to pay a startup fee. When you get internet out here, you have to pay a startup fee. So I paid all the startup fees, and then for 3 months paid all of the bills. I bought my own groceries, kept to myself. The only thing that I had that was communal was like eggs and milk. That was about it. So cut to now. I'm back in Ontario. What do you guys think happened? Oh, the only deal that we have is the lease. We have $1,000 for this. We'll get $1,000 for rent in October. Tell me, Steve, at what point does a zero, 2/3 of a zero, become a zero?
Like 2/3 of zero, it would be zero. I think it'd be instantly.
Or never.
Or never. Yeah, depending. Because it's still zero.
Because 2/3. So if rent is $1,600, is $1,000 2/3 of 1,600?
8 would be 4, 8, 12, so 5, about 520, 250.
So no.
525, somewhere in the ballpark. 533, I don't know. Higher math, but
so 1,000.
It's not.
So
1,000
is not 2/3.
Yeah.
As well as that doesn't include any utilities whatsoever. These two people cumulatively now owe me about $8,500 just just in moving costs and rent, not including anything else.
People actually did the math. 533 would be a third, so 2/3 would, yeah. So they actually did the math in the live chat.
Yeah, no, of course they did. I expected it as much. I believe in chat. So
I was in ballpark.
This is not including when I had to move back to Ontario. I was in a time crunch because they put my dog in medical danger. Because in not giving me any of that money back, I was not able to vaccinate Puck for what is out in Nova Scotia. And they have another dog that they were bringing to the dog park. That dog got kennel cough. Puck got kennel cough. Puck is 8 years old. Kennel cough is actually dangerous for Puck at this point in his life because it's easier for him to catch something else based on that. Kennel cough is essentially just a cold for a dog. And so they put my dog in danger, and I'm like, and that's my foot down. We're done here. And now I have to get Puck out of there immediately because in Ontario, he's vaccinated for everything that's here. In Nova Scotia, he's not vaccinated for everything that's out there. And that wouldn't really be a problem if there wasn't another dog going out there. But yes, kennel cough can be deadly for elderly dogs. You're correct. So I've been now in a position where I've been forced to move back, and so all the costs for that. Then I had to leave the furniture that I paid for behind. I lost my books, my DVDs, my game collection, almost my entire kitchen. So that is 2 sets of pots, pans, so many bowls. Thank God I don't have so many bowls anymore, dear Lord. All of everything. So I've got I managed to save my bed. I didn't save the stand, just the bed, just the cushion. I got a suitcase worth of clothes. The dog himself, Puck, is okay. He's still got a little bit of a cough going on, but other than that, he's fine, and it looks like he'll be okay. So he's not in danger anymore, from what I can tell. And like a handful of miscellaneous stuff that I was able to save. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. So now you guys know that I have now moved back to the other side of the country.
This is why she's been unavailable, by the way.
Yeah, this is why I've been a little bit in and out. The Yoshis I don't have them. Whether or not they're safe has yet to be seen. The Yoshis are not here. Helios.
Thank you, Helios, yes.
Puck is a German Shepherd Border Collie. He might be a King Shepherd. So I'm currently staying with family, and I've got some paperwork I got to do. I've got some phone calls I have to make as soon as this show is over. And then I have to see about potentially getting my money back, because when I messaged them to say, well, okay, what's going on with the money, they have completely ignored me for 4 days. They have not responded.
Yeah, so you have stuff to do this month.
And said the only deal that we had was rent, was the lease. Yeah, no, I have all of these agreements, and all talking about this is all written down. So no, that is not the case. So I have to kind of decide what I'm going to do about it, how I'm going to approach the situation, and figure out what's going on. Are Cheshire's friends related to Kyle? Well, one of them isn't really in the community at all, and kind of just watches. The other one has been in the community and in the background, but kind of keeps himself.
Would you want to live with Kate and Chloe and Godless Engineer?
Oh God!
By the way,
I mean,
don't think we've forgotten about them. We
haven't.
We haven't. Trust me, we haven't.
They are not paying me back without a quarter. I agree. I think that will absolutely be the case. I have a couple avenues to kind of decide what and how I want to do it, but I still have to kind of look into it and make the decision about what I'm going to do. So yeah, essentially I went out of my way, got one had nowhere to live, and got him moved from one country to another country and across the country. The other one moved across the country for her to help her out, and they decided to fuck me for no apparent reason. So we'll see. So I'm dealing with that, and I'm currently living with family. Hopefully, for not too long, will I get stuff sorted out, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
So that's where I'm at.
People have to realize that people have in real life stuff they deal with. One of the like this month, I private in my Twitter, I have in real life stuff that I have to deal with this month.
I was too
completely
busy
unrelated
being a
to
traitor
anything
to
here.
my race. I deserved this.
And so she has a lot of stuff that she needs to deal with too. We're still going to be doing, by the way, Caffeine Corner on Mondays, but just bear with us for a couple weeks. We have a lot of plans, but they're not going to come to fruition for some time. But they're in progress. We are discussing things. Another super chat.
Mr. President 99 for 10 pounds. This is for Cheshire. Not much, but every little bit helps, I hope. Oh, thank you very much. I'm not here to tell a sob story. I just thought there was a lot going on, and I thought it would be only fair to update you guys, to let you guys know what the hell was going on, because I've been in and out so much, and I know I've been trying to get back to people with screenshots about what's been going on with the rave apologetic stuff and answering people for things like that. I also have to get my new cord, which I'll be ordering later today, so hopefully we'll have art coming soon, but things are a bit up in the air. Henry for 15, Steve give half to Puck's health fund, and the Faz for 10 Australian to help Cheshire rebuild. Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, I'll float her some money here coming up. Don't worry. It'll be taken care of.
Sometimes you wonder about friends. Sorry for your shit. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I appreciate you guys. I thought it was only fair to let you guys know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, because I mean, people have known that you were involved in a situation with your roommates. People knew that you were moving, but I figured it was your story to tell, right? So
yeah, well, I wanted to wait until like I kind of, because I was working and sorting out how I was going to move around and what I was going to do. My sister was kind enough to fly out to Nova Scotia to come and get me, and that's where I've been. I've been driving back across the country for it was a 3-day drive.
By the way, Reds, are you still in here? Are you still paying attention? Do you fall asleep? Are you dead?
Reds doesn't care about me.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to this story, Reds? You care? You don't really care. He's like Cheshire.
Support the puck.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I actually it's been a lot of stress, so I haven't been feeling the greatest to do it. But that's, again, I'm not trying to tell a sob story. You guys don't need to do or send me anything. I just thought it was only fair that you guys knew what was going on, given how little I've been able to actually respond. But that's what's been going on.
But that, by the way, we have come to almost the 2-hour mark.
With nothing. They don't have anything.
That's
the 2-hour mark. We did it.
Yeah, it's weird how, we actually start on time and we actually have enough content to fill 2 hours. And by the way, these shows will be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, 90 minutes. It could be anything. But the fact that we actually do push it to 2 hours and actually pretty much on the mark.
We're not even trying to push it. It just gets there.
Yeah, well, I think we understand time management, because believe me, trying to do these shows and actually have coherence to them and consistency is not as easy as people think. This is why we plan on these things and we have discussions about it, and we actually do some research on these topics. But this one's just a sad commentary on people. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, this is a whole lot of just people are being assholes and being sad. So, like, my roommates being assholes and being sad, Kent Hovind being an asshole, and Rachel being sad. And this whole slander campaign, which is Gary is just sad.
By the way, like I said,
the cap is being put on this by Reds on Thursday on Modern Day Debates.
Yes. And I've already put the cap on it. I've already private my account. I'm not dealing with any of these idiots any longer. If my philosophy is going to be this, if you guys have, well, not, I shouldn't be talking to you guys because my audience knows, but the people that are not aware of these people and what they've done and what they do and how what they basically try to slander people and fuck with them. If you're not aware by now, you're never going to be. I'm not interested in those people. Those are not going to be my audience. I'm actually in the audience that are able to understand this is not how you have conversations. This is not how you approach people. You don't go out of your way to try to destroy people. I try to build up. Red's trying to build up. Chester's trying to build up. We're not interested in tearing people down, but we will hold people's feet to the fire, like Katie Poulsen, College Engineer, Caitlin Chloe, and other people that I just think are horrible human beings that have done pretty shitty things and that deserve to have a call out for the things that they've done. That's it. I have nothing wrong with that. If people think that I deserve to be called out, knock yourself out. But I'm not going to be dealing with the same bullshit that I have for the last 2 years. Every time there's an issue, they're like, oh, let's go after Steve. I'm not interested. I'm really not. I don't care. I just don't. They don't have any constructive things to say. Nothing.
I'm kind of.
$2. Have a beer on me. And
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I caught that cough, Reds.
Yeah, I got it. Go ahead, Reg. You take us out. You're the special guest. You have the
Also,
final
I've been
say.
informed that the Yoshis are currently safe. They're just not here with me.
Perfect.
And I'll send her $10 after we're done here for the super chat stuff. I'm just gonna round in my head. I don't, whatever.
Yeah. This entire subject about rape and rape apologetics, it's been tiring. It just has been wow. So, like I said, I'm going to kind of conclude this, at least for me personally, and kind of just wash my hands of it after my Thursday debate with Science First. He says he's not arguing on behalf of Fiona. He's arguing on behalf of himself and only himself. That's fine. I'm just going to wash my hands of it from that point moving forward. This subject has been rather tiring. And like I said, it's not a good subject. It's really not a good subject to keep harping on.
It minimizes the actual thing of rape. It actually, all this conversation, I think right now, is out to the point where angry typing is going on.
Yeah.
I think all it does now is just feeds into their need for attention, and it minimizes the fact that there are actual victims out there of rape, and these people that what they're doing is they're minimizing all that. They're using rape as a weapon rather than point out that real rape apologetics does occur. And so I think what they're doing is vile. If you guys want to call them out, by all means. This is not a call out to my audience, but you guys can continue all you want. I'm just stepping out of it. This is not me avoiding anything. This is not me retreating to an echo chamber.
The topic
I've
has
been transparent enough.
Out.
Yeah, it's worn out.
Yeah, it's been worn out.
out.
Everybody knows they're not bringing anything to the table. They've all been hashtag bitch made. We've got one person who's willing to have a discussion on Thursday. The discussion will happen with that one person, and that will be done, Ian Rings. Second best spot for £10. Sorry.
Go ahead.
For Cheshire and her dog, I lost my 11-year-old German Shepherd 4 months ago. I miss her. I am so sorry. That really sucks.
Yeah, I'll get that to you. I am going to put my Patreon in the live chat. By the way, I appreciate every patron, everyone that has been Patreon for $1, $5, $10. Every one of them, I do try to contact. I do message every so often. I just put a message for October. I am going to have a meeting this Saturday. This upcoming Saturday before I leave on vacation. Let people know about certain things. But I do update a lot through my Patreon. That's what I'm literally kind of living on. So I appreciate every Patreon. Super chats are great, but Patreon is my core thing, and I want to be able to put out good product. And we got, like I said, a lot of stuff in the plans. So, anyways, Chess, you got anything? If not, Reg, you're going to take us out. So
yeah,
you're muted, Chesh. She thinks I'm talking over her. You've been muted this entire time. I'm not talking over you.
One update from me real quick. I do have, I will be ordering my cord that I'm going to need to do art. So anybody who's going on the Patreon, art will be coming soon. As soon as that cord gets in, I'm ordering again. I did have it ordered from Jim Majors, who was lovely, who decided to buy it, but never showed up. Luckily, he's got his money back. So that's good, but I'm going to have to reorder it. So hopefully that won't take longer than maybe a week or two.
I believe I bought a cord for somebody too that I was supposed to get some artwork for that I don't think ever happened. Maybe I have to revisit that. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching this. I'll let you know what we have planned this week. It's probably, like I said, not a lot of stuff's going to be out for the next couple of weeks. But Reds, thank you for joining us. I think that you've made your points. And anything else?
The point is simple, and I'll just end on this. I guess end the entire show on this. After Thursday, I am done talking about rape apologetics, and all of that stuff because it's been 2 weeks. It's been tiring. I'm done with it. So this is just me, but I recommend everyone get done with it at the exact same time.
I concur.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Hashtag bitch made. They've all been made, bitch.
Yeah, use the threads to find out who you need to mute because they're not worth your time.
You know what? I'm not asking people to mute or block, but by the way, I will say this.
No, if they want to.
It's better off. I mean, I've already blocked them. People are muted. But that's up to you guys. But I think you're better off just muting and blocking them altogether. But that's, again, your decisions. But these people are not worth having around. This is why Reds and I just got as far away from these people as possible. Like if
kinda
I can
done with
move, if I can move off the flat Earth, I would just to get away from these people. They're that reprehensible.
End it on that. End it on that. End it on
There's
that.
at the end of
Trigger
it.
everybody.
Flat Earth. Earth is flat.
Flat
Don't believe NASA. Flat.
Don't believe-
Choose